Ladies and gentlemen, Forbes Middle East welcomes you to Retail Rebooted, where industry leaders have come together under one roof to discuss how the landscape of retail is rapidly changing. The retail industry leaders for 2019 will be introduced as we reveal the top 20 retailers of the Middle East. Delving into the digital world to see what's next for e-commerce. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome to the stage the founder and CEO of Spree.com, Sarah Jones. Warm round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, please. Now, Sarah set up her profitable eBay business, importing items from across the globe and selling them in the UK when she was just 14 years old. Sarah founded Mini Exchange by Sarah Jones 5 years ago, which she rebranded to Spree in 2017. Next in line, please help me welcome to the stage our next speaker or panelist, co-founder and CEO of Danube Online and the founder of CEO of AYM Commerce, Mr. Majid Al-Tahan. Mr. Majid is an award-winning entrepreneur. He created the first ever online service for grocery shopping in Saudi Arabia and founded AYM, which manages Saudi Arabian telecommunications services. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome to the stage the Chief Commercial Officer at Zbooni, Ashraf Atiyah. Ashraf has over 20 years of experience in managing and building sustainable revenue-generating businesses. Before joining Zbooni, he was at NetApp for 10 years and played a key role in initiating NetScout's local operations in MENA. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, we have the VP of Strategy and Performance for MENA at Talabat, Mr. Unur Ilgun. Did I pronounce that right, Unur? My lovely Turkish friend helped me practice that over and over, so. Mr. Unur sets up the company-wide strategic direction and objectives. Before joining Talabat, he spent 9 years at the Boston Consulting Group, where he advised C-suites and boards of leading organizations and on their most pressing issues. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome to the stage your moderator for this panel, Jörg Meiser. Round of applause, please. Mr. Jörg Meiser is the Senior Manager for TMT and Consumer Business at Monitor Deloitte. Jörg focuses on strategy and performance improvement projects as well as commercial and retail technology. Before joining Deloitte, he was at Porsche Consulting Group for over 8 years. Jörg, thank you very much for assisting. Thank you all for being here, ladies and gentlemen. Take it away.
Thank you. And hello and good afternoon from our side. We want to talk after the very interesting first panel, where we had also a lot of retail and, let's say, physical touch points. Now a bit focusing more on pure e-commerce. And I'm very excited to have this mix here, because we have established player in e-commerce, we have new joiners in e-commerce, we have the background from physical players who just opened e-commerce players, we have pure players, and we also have providers with in very interesting solutions which can support both of the businesses. Today in the panel we would like to discuss 3 topics, like to just give you a little bit of an overview. First, I also want to start with the customer and understand more the interactions, what the challenges, then focus on technology, which is also very essential part here, and then more a broader outlook on what could be game changers in the e-commerce business, which is a game changer itself already. So my first question, Sarah. with your really, really interesting and fantastic story. You have a pure e-commerce. Moms are your main customers. When I look now in the e-commerce landscape in the region in general, the UAE, the whole region is leading. Everyone has a smartphone. But at the end, we use it for information, for price comparison. So and less for the proper purchase. Now you're an e-commerce player. My question to you, how ready are the customers really here in the region for e-commerce? And how do you tackle this problem to really get them to your customers?
Yep, so thank you very much for having me here. So Sarah Jones, CEO of Spree.com. So we're a back-to-back e-com play focused within the mums and kids vertical. And I think that the main issue that people are facing in the e-com sector out here is actually moving people from offline to online. How do you get their eyeballs to be searching on Google for these products rather than having their first point of call as being the store itself? Once you've actually got them online, it's actually then much, much easier to get them to convert online, with free delivery, with larger product ranges, etc. So we actually see the reverse of what you mentioned, and we actually see that, we are the store where you can get 55,000 products, and no physical store could hold all the strollers we have, all of the Lego items we have, all of the diapers we have within one place, and therefore it's actually a convenience factor to be able to consolidate all of those products and list them in one place for consumers. So I think it's actually customers searching for us and finding us, and once we've actually got that eyeball, it's actually much, much easier to convert them, because there is no real reason why they wouldn't check out with us when the prices are cheaper, the delivery's free, etc.
Okay, very interesting. Maybe one follow-up question that I have kids myself, and this business is like, I want to touch, feel. How do you handle this?
Yeah, so that's where nicely the retail stores come into play. A lot of mums, I'm a mum myself of two, and that's where a lot of the mums or dads will go to the physical store. They will find their Maxi Cozy car seat or their Baby Zen stroller, and they will see that, touch it, wheel around the store, and then they'll decide which color they want, for instance, and then they'll come online to be able to shop it. So, typically those shops can't facilitate having all of these colors, all the different models within their store, and therefore the storefronts, especially in this market, which is, dropping from a retail point of view, actually provide us with the most wonderful storefront, and especially with a lot of these larger items as well, having these items delivered to your home and not having to bulk large items of Pampers or, your heavy cots or, play systems, etc. And especially items like trampolines, are invaluable to have these items delivered, installed at your homes, and that's one of the key product lines that we focus on.
Okay, thank you. Onur, with Talabat, you shaped the e-commerce landscape over the last years here in the region. What is your perspective as a consumer? What's the status of being ready for e-commerce, which is your main customer, and what developments will be there in the future?
Yeah, thank you for the compliments up front. I think there are two things. I think we should look at it in two ways. One, maybe the easy one, where the region is really ahead, the customer mindset. Mm-hmm. I think mindset was customers are ready, even ahead of many of us. They know what they want, they know where the industry should go, and they are ready to provide feedback, and they really want to see what they have seen in other markets overnight here in the region. So I think in terms of customer mindset, we are really in a lucrative market, and there is a lot to tap into it. Yet there are fundamental challenges, which are like share of people who are banked is still lower than what you would expect. I think around 14-15% of the region's population is banked. Then credit card ownership is one thing, and then willingness to use it, the trust. There are many things we should help, not only to authorities and our partners, but also our customers to build the trust, that whatever they are willing to pay or they are willing to put on the table is safe and sound. This is how I see it in terms of the landscape. Yeah.
Thank you. So it's a lot about trust, and Sarah, you also said it's experience, and you also use somehow the help of the offline channels. And this brings me also to my next question, Majid. From your background, you have with Danube, and you have the physical stores, but you really launched and you're pacing up this online business. So you know both customer journeys. What do you see here as the main challenges in your customer journey of your customers, and how are you tackling them?
So the main challenge here is that, as you said earlier, they're not touching the merchandise. So our customers, they know, they trust the brand. We capitalized on the Bin Dawood and Danube Group brand equity a lot. So we had the trust issue, it was not a big problem for us because the people, they knew the brand. So what we did to tackle this is that we kept the channel open with our customers. They can chat with us anytime through a lot of channels. And we usually also tend to mention the picker's name, packer's name, just to put a sense of that there is actually people operating this. It's not only a completely electric thing or, it's computers and stuff like that. So this is where we tackled the trust issue with
Okay.
us, yeah.
And when you look along like the journey, the different steps from the awareness, from make yourself interesting, getting the customers, also a lot of trust, he said they know the brand, up to the purchase and also the delivery, up to I have issues with my service I received. Where do you see here some bottlenecks, some improvement potential?
So bottlenecks is that you have to actually deliver on your promise. When we started this, we started the second-day delivery promise. We needed to give ourselves some time to be able to understand and fulfill the orders, and we didn't want to pressurize ourselves with time, so we offered the second-day delivery, just to be able to meet our customers' expectations. So moving forward, we actually started decreasing the lead time. So then we started earning more and more trust. We started new initiatives, we started new promotions, new offers, just to be on the good side of the customers, let's say. Because we believe that grocery shopping is something really personalized, and it has to be a personalized experience.
Yeah.
So we also tend to personalize the experience as per the category of clients we have.
Okay, so a big word, also personalization and, again, the experience.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Ashraf, if I would have done the introduction, I would have said at the end we all have to pay, so we would end with you. You have with Ziboni a very interesting solution. A chat commerce platform where I can pay in a very interesting way. And with that, you are on a very important part of the customer journey. How can you tell us a bit more about this challenge you are solving?
Right. So Ziboni is an chat commerce app that's made for merchants that allows merchants to collect payment over chat channels. So those channels can be WhatsApp, they can be social channels, basically any way that you're interacting with your customer online. And if I take a step back, we look at e-commerce and what was promised to us with e-commerce in the early 2000s or late 99 when it first came up. And most merchants thought that I'm going to spend a lot of time up front building this very good-looking website. Okay, then my job is to draw as much traffic to that website as possible, right? And then I'm going to wake up every morning, and my new job is to just fulfill those orders, right? So I'm going to wake up every morning, and I have 50 orders I need to fulfill. So I need to provision them, I need to get them to last mile, I need to get them to the customers. What we found is that over the last 10 years, consumer behavior has changed. It costs a lot of money to draw the eyeballs to your specific website that you spent a lot of money on or app, and there's been this, revival of marketplaces where things are aggregated. It's almost a digital mall. And what we found is that consumers now don't want to go to individual websites and shop, but they want to engage with the brand. And while it was contrary to what e-commerce has brought us to think about how people interact, it's actually very consistent with retail and commerce in general. And we talked about this when we spoke on the phone. If I walk into a store in a mall, there's an associate there who's going to come up to me and say, Ashraf, can I help you find something? Are you looking for something specific today? Can I get you that in your size? This looks great. And there's a value there. That person can upsell, they can cross-sell. They know more about the collection than I do walking into a random store. If that person didn't need to exist, then that whole profession of a salesperson in a store would not exist. That same concept translates online. And I think up front, we were sold a bill of goods that says, no, everything's going to be self-service. Customers are going to come in, they're going to pick things, and then they're going to check out, right? And that might be okay if I am buying, a very commodity product. I want an iPhone, the new one, and it's going to be matte black, and it's 32 gig, then I can go and check it out. If it's anything other than that, as a customer, I have questions, right? I want to know what size is it available in, what colors, how big is it, what's the customer experience? And I need to discuss that with someone, all right? The second I start discussing that with someone, that's a channel that I'm interacting with my customer from, and I want to close the sale inside of that channel. And so the idea for Zebooni came from, there's a lot of these conversations happening online, right? It could be on chat, it could be on social, anywhere. And a lot of sites now, they'll have their chat widgets there and please talk to us, right? Every site now has that. What happens when you have a really good conversation and you agree to this basket of products and you tell your customer, do me a favor, go back to my website, register, wait for the verification email to come, set your password, go to my site, fill up your cart, and check out. There's a huge chance that that person is really going to abandon at that point, and you've just spent effort and resource to sell someone who's not going to close. But what if in that chat you could drop in a link where you've already built the cart, and you've already pre-populated the customer name, and the email, and the phone, and all they have to do is look at the cart that you guys have agreed to, and at the bottom there's a big blue button that says place order, and they place the order, and then they put in their credit card. So what we're helping convert all of that, and we're bringing that shop person who's going to help you shop into e-commerce. And we think that we're seeing a big market for it here.
So basically you're covering a very important step, the payment into a good experience. And then it comes into last mile delivery, what you mentioned before. And we also heard the word trust. So I have here, regarding the consumer, last question to you, Sarah. Loyalty. How do you make at Spree your customer loyal? Because after a while, I don't need baby products anymore. How do you do that? What is the success here?
Yep, so I think there's a couple of different areas. One of them is range of products. At Spree, we're not just focusing on, the mother once they've just given birth. We're pre-pregnancy from your, Clear Blue pregnancy test right up to your, items for your 15-year-olds, your trampolines, and then we've also gone into house and home as well, whereby very much focusing on the family items. So we've actually got a lifetime value of a customer that can stretch from, 10 to 15 years, and I think that's incredibly important to, make sure you've got that range of products and you've got that range of brands on the site that you can deliver quickly. The other one is price, incredibly important to make sure that you have the best prices equal to or lower than anybody else in the market, and that's something that we contractually have with our distributors, so that we are making sure that the consumer always trusts us. And number 3 is customer experience. How can we make sure that we are the go-to platform with a trusted website for everything that a mother or a parent may need? And the main reason the main way that we're able to do that is that we only work with authentic distributors, which very much differentiates ourselves from some of the kind of larger global players where they may have multi-sellers that are selling on the site. And we are only working with P&G, with Unilever, with Lego, with Barbie, whoever that may be, and we're signing contracts with them directly, which means then that you have the full warranty. Again, incredibly important when you're buying your stroller, when you're buying your car seat, when you're buying these items that are not cheap, and you want to make sure that in 3 years' time, should there be a problem with them, that you've got somewhere to go back to, and it's covered not by necessarily Spree, we will manage that process, but it's covered back to back by our distributor, and we will then manage that whole process for you. And I think those are the 3 areas why our customer retention at Spree is incredibly high, and why these customers, on average, come back to us about 4 to 6 times every single year at Spree, over a number of years as well.
Okay. Onur, how is that with you, customer loyalty? When I look at Talabat, I have different options as a customer. How do you pull them to you? Is loyalty there the last recipe, and what are you doing? Yeah, it's a very good question. Loyalty sounds simple, but actually it's very complicated. First, I think you need to set the purpose for your loyalty program. Is it mainly focused on acquiring customers and keeping them with you, or you want to ring fence your very loyal customers and reward them? In Talabat, we have more than 1 million customers using our app every day, and some of our customers are placing orders more than 4 times a day, be it food, be it grocery. So it's a big thing. So we are working on initiatives to reward our customers. But one thing we are trying to do is we are trying to have a holistic approach. So it's not only like we give something back to our customers in terms of loyalty, but we partner with our partners
and create a holistic experience for our customers where they can benefit from being a Talabat member or user. Yeah.
Okay, trying to have an ecosystem end to end.
Exactly. Correct.
Very interesting.
The ecosystem is the key word here.
After talking now a bit about the customer and the interactions, I would like to switch or move forward to the technology part. Majid, you mentioned it already before. Like one of your key challenges and also success factors will be or is the last mile delivery. So, what are you doing with the new online here, and what possibilities do you see in the future?
So what we did to tackle this is actually we own the whole supply chain.
Okay.
We own our fleet, we own our cars, and they're all our employees. So we keep training them, we monitor them closely. It's a very big difference approach than the share economy approach. So this is what we did to actually tackle the supply chain. And as I told you before, when we started, we offered a second-day delivery. Again, to understand more and deeply the complex and the challenges that we're going to face while delivering to our clients. So the more we understood their needs and the approach, so the less the lead time is. And then we have our own back-end system. We capitalize a lot on the Google APIs. So we verify addresses by our drivers. We add notes on the side that this customer would like you to knock on the second door. This customer has a guard, all these personal information that makes the delivery very seamless experience for the customer.
Okay. Especially in grocery, freshness is a big factor.
Yes.
How do you deal with that when I order something and I'm not available? What do you do? Or how do you handle traffic?
So it's, as I told you, we own the cars, so it's a food safety standard. Okay. It has fridges, it has freezers, and it has the normal room temperature containers as well. So we notify the customer when the journey starts, your order is on the way, and then we attempt the delivery. If the customer is not there, then the driver can complete his other deliveries and then can come back again later. If the case is that the customer is not there, then we will take the order back to the supermarket. But during the whole journey, the food is stored in the optimum, yeah.
And you own it.
Exactly.
Maybe then on the other side, Onur, how do you, with Talabat, handle the last mile delivery? I think it's quite a different model than Majid just explained.
Yeah, I think, yeah. The thing is, honestly, delivering something, I would say the next day is significantly simpler than delivering something in 30 minutes. The whole model is completely different. That requires a fundamental mindset shift and different algorithms and mechanics behind it. What we try to do is, earlier on, Talabat started as a marketplace, so we were not helping our partners to deliver the food or the groceries. In last 2-3 years, we are also providing the fleet services, so we help our partners to deliver their food. This is something we are really doing well today, so any order we deliver on average less than 30 minutes, and we have even tighter targets when it comes to groceries as well. I think there are few ingredients. One, knowing the market, so you know your customer, you have a kind of a demand planning, you know when the order will come, you set your fleet accordingly, and the technology is really key to it, the algorithm, the coding. When someone drops off the parcel, the next order that rider will receive, in how many seconds he will get the next order, like all those, I would say, calculations plays a role and shouldn't be ignored at all. And at the end, as mentioned, it's your communication. So keeping your customer up to date, basically answering what's happening to my order question very proactively. Okay. That also helps you a lot. This is what we are trying to focus. Okay. Yeah.
Well, with food delivery, I want it now. Maybe question to Sarah, Majid, and to you, Ashraf. Is it more the on-time delivery? Like when do I want it exactly, or as fast as possible? What is the trend?
So for us, it's a slot. You choose your slot. It's when you choose your suitable time, and then the delivery will be on that time. So it's a 2-hour slot that starts from early morning to midnight, and customers chooses the best slot that matches their convenience time. So this is what we do.
Okay, Sarah.
Yeah, for us, I think it's making sure that you're sticking to your customer promise. You know, a lot of ours are mums. You know, we have 2 slots when you can deliver. And I think, you know, for the majority, if not all of our products, you know, customers are, you know, we're not trying to deliver in 2 hours. You know, it might be something that we get to later down the line, but it's trying to make sure that we can deliver a convenient time and the customer experience is good in terms of the communications and that we're never delivering late. So I think that's very much what's important to our customers. We've done a lot of surveys on it. We've done a lot of focus groups on it, and making sure that if you say 2 days, it's 2 days. If you make sure that if you're saying 1 day, then it's 1 day and it's not later. You know, we deliver 98% of all of our packages within 48 hours. And I think making sure that you are always extremely reliable is, especially for our segment of the market, you know, the most important thing.
Okay, thank you. Ashraf.
So I think what we've seen is that it's almost the consumers have been spoiled now with the on-demand marketplace of what's going on now. So if you think about an Uber, you look on your phone, you click it, I want it right now where I am. So it's not necessarily at home. So we think that merchants and retail in general has to be flexible now to be able to respond and deliver to a customer's requirement when they need it, where they need it. So it's not necessarily, I want this, please deliver in the next 48 hours at my address and somebody will open it. It could be, I need this because I'm going out and I'm going to start at a friend's house, so I want it there, and then we're going to use it, and then we move forward. So I think we see almost a philosophical conflict in what merchants want to provide, that we want to collect all this information about you and try to, you know, segment you and put you in this box, where a customer really all he wants is, I want to buy something, I want it when I want it, where I want it, and don't bother me other than that. So that's where we think there's a divergence, and as merchants we need to come closer to what the customer wants rather than expect the customer to come closer to where we want them to be. And I think that's one of the things that we have to address.
Okay. Important is to listen to the customer, but to do so, I need data. So this is a question I want to ask to every one of you. Data is king. The more you know about your customer, how to interact, then you know how to interact with him. You know how to structure your assortment. Very interesting, Sarah. When I see also, you not just have categories. You also somehow have, how I see it, like you also have like kind of the life cycle of a mom on your website in your products. The same Majid, when also whatever article I read about the Noob, it's full of data. You know your customer, you know the assortment, you know the delivery times. Talabat, you know exactly how long you need, what people are ordering, what you should offer to be attractive at which time. So data is king. And my question to all of you, and maybe let's start Majid with you and then through the row. Which role does retail analytics play for you today? What will it play in the future? And where do you see is where it should be the focus on?
So as you said, that data analytics is key. So the more we analyze the data, the more likely our customers are to transact. And the more they transact, the higher the lifetime value of a customer is. So we are very much focused on data. We're a data-driven company. All our back-end systems, they all communicate with each other. So we gather data from our pickers, from our packers, from our drivers. We gather data from our customers. We push the right promotion at the right time. So imagine if you are opening your app and you're seeing kid stuff or things that you're not interested in. You will be not likely to transact. So we used to actually analyze what the customer behavior is, and we push data to them. We're fortunate also our marketing team is here, so they're actually working on that a lot, because we immediately see the effect. And then they actually say, okay, we're going to create this funnel, and we're going to put these customers in that funnel, and we're going to push this promotion. So transaction rate will be much, much higher than just, shooting in the dark, we say. So we're very much focused, and we also realize something is, not only gather data from your customers, but you also gather data from your employees, the people who actually operate. So we also keep the channel open with our pickers and packers, and now we're creating a channel that the customer can talk straight to the packer and ask him for specific things. Also, these data will be gathered through certain funnels, and through the right tools, you'll get very rich marketing products out of it. So this is what we do too. And we as I told you, we see immediate effect on the transactions.
I believe that.
Yeah.
From the Zubuni perspective, we obviously believe that data is the lifeblood of any organization. However, as I mentioned in my last answer, there's always going to be a push and pull with the customer, how much he wants to provide to you. So as a merchant, you have defined this customer journey. They're going to encounter me here, and then they're going to engage me here, and we're going to check out here. And we've talked to merchants who have spent hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars building these apps and very nice websites, but 50% of their customers actually want to access through the back door. They just want to talk to somebody and order. So we think it's critical for merchants and for retailers now to be as flexible as possible. The reason you're collecting this data is to increase your sales. And we've talked to merchants who don't want to do sales if they can't collect the data. So you have to measure and weigh yourself which one is more important. I think everybody in this room agrees that the sale is the most important part. So you have to be able to let people come in through the journey that you've defined or any other way that they want to engage with you and collect both. And the ones that come in from the back door, from the side door, you're going to have to collect in a different way than the way that you've predefined. And that's something that we got to talk about and work together to kind of solve.
Yep, so, at Spree, we see ourselves as a technology and data platform, first and foremost, and making sure that we are giving the best customer experience by using that data, I think, is absolutely critical. We have complete personalization on the site, so some customers may see one SKU at the top, others may see a different SKU at the top. They're seeing different prices in different countries, different products. We've got a lot of data on the age of kids or the age of their kids, what they're recently transacting on, how we can push products to them. So whether it's through our email targeting, CRM system, on the website, it's incredibly important that we're capturing this and then actually using it. We're all very well to have it. We're very focused on, our business intelligence tool drives pretty much every decision in the business. The whole team is on it daily, and we're seeing exactly what's happening, the devices they're using, how often they're transacting, where customers are sticky, where they're not, where we're doing well, where we're not, so that we can keep them in our ecosystem and keep them coming back, buying, time and time again. So I think, collecting data incredibly important, but actually using it to make the customer experience better is the most critical thing.
In terms of data, I think I would say we don't have any issues in terms of having the data, but I think that the key thing for us is how to distill insights from the data we have, the huge customer base, transactions, how we can convert the data into customer needs, what they expect from us. So like if you move in a menu, like spend more than an average time, maybe the menu is complicated, so we reach out to the partner and say, on average, people spend more time on your menu compared to your peers, FYI. So these are the things how we can convert data into something that's useful for our customers, so we can tap their needs, that's useful for our partners so that they can improve themselves. I think that's really key for us. And the second angle, what we use a lot is experimenting. So we never go full launch in any country for any initiative. We carve out an area, number of customers, experiment it just to have initial understanding of the data so that we can update our business model and expand it. That also has been very helpful so far in Talabat. That's something very different compared to my previous life, where you need to make sure things are really ready for full launch. Whereas in Talabat, most common, I'm sure, in startup culture, you experiment a lot. And one part of experimentation comes across the data consistency and understanding the data.
Okay. Based on your experimental approach, I want to switch to the last big topic, game changers. You just mentioned you're also responsible for driving the growth with Talabat, also with new models. So, and you have an experimental approach to try them before you go full speed into them. So my question to you, Onur, is what is next? Which business models do you see? Left and right, up and down the value chain. What is next in e-commerce?
Yeah, fair question. That's the big question that we have in our department. I think it comes down to customer experience, because we would like to be part of our customers' daily life. So, and we shouldn't necessarily limit it to the food ordering. What can we help to our customers for their daily needs? Because food ordering maybe taps your hunger needs, but we have a philosophy. We would like to create times, help our customers create times and enjoy moments that matters to them. So we are also focusing on convenience as well. So we are looking into multiple verticals to tap the daily needs of our customers as well. Because eventually our purpose is to make sure our customers have more time for what they really want to do and what really matters to them. And in relation to that, we are exploring multiple verticals in your day-to-day life.
Ashraf, same question to you. With your solution, you also tackle, besides payment, already bit into last mile delivery. That means you go already right in the value chain. What is next? What comes after that?
So I think for us, we have a focus now on an online way of customers interacting with merchants. And I think we're going to ride this out until we can see what we think the next step is. And we actually think the next step is going to be related to people communicating with merchants, let's say, over voice notes. So we had a great meeting last week with a logistics provider who said every time, and they're doing errands, so pick this up from place A and drop it off to B. So instead of having an app and clicking on a Google map, this is where I want to go from here, people are leaving them voice notes. So in 10 seconds, they can say, pick this up from my house and deliver it to here. And that's much faster than opening the app, searching through, filling in all your information. So we think it's going to move towards more and more convenience for the customer. The challenge on the technical side is how do you parse all of that to produce the steps that are needed to provision that task. And we think that that's actually where it's going to go. People are going to use the proprietary lists and the things that are set up now in these apps less and less. And they're going to go for the most convenient and the fastest way for them to get what it is they want to get achieved with the merchant. And as a merchant, we have to adapt to that and be able to deliver a service that's comparable to what we're doing now, while easing the burden on the customer. So I think that's where we're going to go with it.
Okay, I want to take that buzzword. That brings me also to my last question to you, Majid, and also Sarah. Voice commerce. We believe this could be a big game changer. How do you see this affecting your business? And what do you think how it will develop?
Actually, it's something we're exploring right now. So it's also down to the customer experience. It enhances the experience a lot, and it eases the ordering process. So we see voice ordering as a very key factor now in our next editions of our application, and we're continuously looking at it and improving our app to be able to adopt these new technologies that are coming. And it's all, again, as a voice ordering or augmented reality, these are all things that will really enhance the customer experience. So this is why we're focusing on these new initiatives, and we want to be the first in the market to launch these features as well.
Interesting. Yeah. Maybe Sarah, before I hand over to you, one comment on that, and maybe you can also include that in your answer. How do you see the challenge and the risk for you, for a brand like Spree, for a marketplace? Do I still need the marketplace's voice commerce when I'm, as an end consumer, directly connected to the producer with voice commerce? I order diapers and it goes to the manufacturer.
So I guess two different questions. I would the voice commerce side, in all honesty, I don't think we're there yet in the Middle East, not us Spree, but people aren't ordering like this. I'd love to say, we want to be on the forefront of technology and we want to have this. I don't think it's there yet. I think we've got to be very realistic in this region, and right now delivery companies can't even find you and a pin and get to your front door. So I genuinely feel like voice commerce, and Majid, maybe you're going to prove me wrong in the next couple of years when you launch your voice commerce, but I genuinely feel like it's a couple of years away from where we are today. I think it's figuring out how the logistics is easy, how we can get time slots of where we can deliver to our customers accurately, which every single logistic company here seems to struggle with, how we can make sure that payments, and customers are really confident from that that side, and how we can deliver on what we're setting up on our site. Yes, you can hire smart people. Yes, you can make these promises, but then it's delivering on them. So getting the basics right in this part of the world, which already has a huge amount of challenges, especially in Saudi, etc., in terms of delivery and addresses, I think is the most important things before companies then start to overcomplicate things and introduce things that maybe in the Western world, in the US, these features are deliverable, delivering with drones, all these nice things that I see as a little bit of a PR stint out here. I feel like we're definitely not there in the region yet. In terms of voice and Spree and why one wouldn't go directly to the manufacturer, the simple question is the manufacturer doesn't sell direct to consumer. None of our products are available from manufacturer. Nobody can buy from them. We sit on the same point of the value chain as somebody like Hamleys or any retail stores. And we work at distribution level. So we sign the contracts with distributors. P&G, I would love to say they're selling to consumers, but they're not. They sell to us, they sell to Carrefour, they sell to supermarkets, etc., and then we're the people that are dealing with the end consumers. So, that's, I guess, the part of the value chain that we sit in, so that we can have mass products, convenience, and delivery of these products to the end consumer.
Thank you. Shall we hand over to the audience? I'm sure there are some questions. There are some guys with the mic.
Hello. This is a very off-the-cuff question, a bit unconventional, and I'm throwing it open to the panel. We spoke about customer experience, offline to the actual interface when the product is actually delivered. And in most cases in this region, the product is delivered by team members who come on motorbikes. Given the weather, when we actually receive the product or the person who actually hands the product over to us, the hygiene levels are not what we expect. For that moment, the perception of customer experience, or good customer experience, to close the sale or part of that sale which is actually in progress, is not as pleasant as one would expect. And I'm actually highlighting weather, sweat, hygiene levels, etc. When would this evolve, is the question.
I take the buzzword food delivery. Maybe, Ono, you could start, and maybe Majid, you also have a good opinion on that.
Yeah, in Talabat, what we do is, of course, we have two components. We have marketplace business, where you place an order and the restaurant delivers it. And for the other part, where we do our own delivery, we have clear guidelines, and we really work with our rider team on a very frequent basis. All the way from, actually, we have a huge team literally working with the riders, all the way from their T-shirt design to making sure that they are hydrated during the summertime. So we take it really seriously, and honestly, so far that wasn't something that brought to my attention as a feedback. Usually the feedbacks we receive are, oh, he's late, if that ever happens. And so far we are aware of it, and we totally agree, because the rider you see at your door is the face of Talabat. Because there are multiple moments of truth. One moment of truth is the app, of course, the choice, the affordability, the speed you provide to the customer, but this is not the end of the game. The rider is equally important as the app we developed and we have been developing, so we take it very seriously and we never drop the ball.
Majid.
So for us, this is a very actually good question, and this is what prevented us from scaling immediately. We take this as a very serious issue, and that's why we moved away from the share economy concept. So you can never control, as you said, a delivery guy on a bike in such hot climate. So that's why we own the fleet, we own the car, and we continuously monitor the hygiene of the actual vehicles and fridges, freezers, and everything. We take regularly swipes. We check for bacteria. We actually have an online attached thermostat in the car and in the actual driver cabin that continuously monitor the temperature. So, and we have benchmarks. Whenever the temperature in the freezer, let's say, drops below the agreed temperature, the driver will be immediately called off and the deliveries will be taken back to the actual supermarket. So without having an upper hand on the actual end mile employee and vehicle, this is a very, very serious thing, and it will be very difficult to actually tackle. So that's why we own end-to-end solution, and we monitor it very closely. And we did see, because we also tried to have a faster way of delivery for the groceries, and we saw that there will be a lot of hygienic issues attached to it, so we decided to drop it.
So I think in both ways, probably either you own it or you control it. Important are the standards, and that you fulfill them, and that you make sure that that they are followed. Any further questions?
No questions from the audience?
Hello, everyone. Well, my question is, as now we know that the industry is evolving, changing, and the innovation is everywhere, where do you think the idea is going? As for now, this particular service did not exist 10, 15 years ago, and it had, like, the industry had to evolve to adapt to this. What do you think is the step after? As change, we know, is one of the most afraid, like every company is afraid of change, is in terms also of staff, like will I be good at that or that, but also the customers, as also you focus a lot on the clients and customer journey. Where do you think this is going to be heading? And if there is changes, how will you implement them so there will be good feedback from it?
Zara.
Yep, so I mean, I'm not saying this is, reading into the future in 10, 15 years' time, but I think in the next kind of 2 to 5 years, predictive e-commerce is 100% the way that everything's going. Be able to predict what customers want before they come to your site based on their previous searches on other sites, what payment methods they're most likely to use, a lot of things that Google are doing now, so that you can really not only target your customer, but actually understand what they're likely to purchase, how they're likely to purchase it, where they're going to want it delivered, so that you're removing so many more clicks from the customer's journey, rather than your kind of standard e-com platform at the moment. A lot of smart sites out there that are doing this already, and I think this is going to be aggressively coming to the region, and you'll see it on a lot of the e-com platforms over the course of the next couple of years.
Okay. Good. I saw there was a question from the lady in the front. Actually, we have space for 2 more questions.
Hello, thank you for a very insightful discussion. I'm going to read this off my phone. So we're increasingly seeing a lot of brick and mortar companies being more sustainable, making systemic changes to be more sustainable. So whether that's the materials that they're using or opting for more low emission processes. So I'm curious, with your digital presence and e-commerce business model, are you seeing customer demand for more sustainable operations? If such, what does sustainability look like for an e-commerce platform? Thank you.
Majid.
So it's actually a good question. Sustainability is something that has to be actually driven from within the organization. Because currently, if also customers are very concerned about sustainability, it won't be an actual driver to us, because still the demand is growing. So maybe it will take more time for it to be a key driver for the business. But internally in our organization, it's something that the board is driving, the owners are driving, stakeholders are driving. So you can actually, these things has to be within the organization to the end customers. It's still not yet the time for customers to actually drive organizations there. It's taking time, but we can see it's picking up as we speak.
So maybe answering again that question in a little bit of a different light, we see our organic section on the site as being one of our biggest growth drivers on the site in terms of category. You know, organic products. You know, the packaging the packaging as well that consumers want, they're becoming a lot more sensitive to. So how can we offer that as different, you know, checkout options on the site? So sustainable packaging, organics, natural products is, you know, for us, one of our key focuses for the next 6 months at Spree, and is, you know, where we're acquiring a lot of brands from and where we actually see the biggest growth from a lot of the brands that we're working with as well, even though customers are actually happy, and customers are actually happy to pay a lot more for these products as well. So a really, really interesting vertical within our product mix, especially with our target market as well. So yeah, very, very interesting.
Are there any more questions? We have time for one more jackpot question. Yes, please.
Hi, this is a question for Owner from Talabat. There was recently an article in Gulf News about just back on the delivery drivers on the motorbikes and sort of the challenges they have to do their job and the safety issues. Are there initiatives that you're looking at to help improve some of the challenges that they face so that they can meet their delivery on time?
Yeah, that's a very fair question. We have, let's say, internal and external initiatives to do that. Like internally, we have hubs where we build rest areas and where we provide supplies during I would say demanding weather conditions. That's number one. Number two, we set expectations with our customers when things go really south, be it a sandstorm or heavy weather conditions. We literally notify them that their delivery may take time, because we also really don't want to rush our riders and fleet. And on top, what we do is we launched an initiative where we kind of drop a note on the app when our customers order during those times, just reminding them, also like maybe offering them something could work well. They don't have to, it's just a kind reminder to them, and it doesn't mean we don't provide it, we do provide it, yet that it's just to make life easier for our riders. But this is something that we really take seriously because our fleet is also expanding, and we want to make sure, as I answered Mr. Khurshid's question, they are our face to our customers, simple as that, and we take it very seriously.